Hey, what's going on guys? Arekkz here, and today I want to talk about Godfall. It's been a little while since my last video because, short of there being a announcement trailer some 5 months ago which we covered, there hasn't really been any additional information, bar some leaked gameplay, which I wasn't really going to talk about. So today I want to talk about this because if you guys caught the PlayStation Future of Gaming conference yesterday, honestly, I really enjoyed it. I appreciate, everybody has their different tastes in games, but just being able to sit down and watch a load of games back to back in a kind of condensed E3 style presentation was honestly a lot of fun. And amidst all of that, there's a lot of games I do want to talk about, so expect lots of videos on the channel over today and tomorrow. But today, in this video, I want to talk about Godfall because this is a game I am incredibly excited about. If you know the kind of games we cover on this channel, you'll know I love my loot games, you'll know I love my melee combat, and this is a match made in heaven. They kind of described it initially when they first announced it as a looter slasher, and as somebody that much prefers melee weapons over guns, this just sounds amazing. And obviously, once you take a look at the gameplay, it also looks fantastic. Yes, admittedly, at this stage, I still have a lot of questions. How many weapons are there going to be? What's combat actually going to feel like? What's the loot system going to be like? What's the end game going to be like? There's so many different questions that typically come with loot-based games, but from what they initially showed in the trailer, bar the kind of questionable music choice, which, let's be honest, was a bit odd, the trailer was really cool. The gameplay was fantastic, it looks really weighty, looks really kind of visceral, like I love the movement and everything you have. They also showed 4 different weapon types, so in this video, I want to kind of quickly go over what we've seen, what they kind of showed, and sort of summarize what they spoke about on the PlayStation blog post. They did say that this is of course just the beginning. They said over the coming weeks they'll be speaking more about specific stuff, like the weapons, the armor, the abilities, so as and when they do speak about that, I will be sure to cover that because this is a game, as mentioned, that I am super excited about, so I will be covering it extensively on this channel. So if you're excited for Godfall and you don't want to miss all the latest, then make sure you do stick around, make sure you turn on those notifications, subscribe, because we are going to be bringing you all the best Godfall coverage. But let's start at the top with the trailer. In fact, before we even dive into the information, let's just quickly take a look at this because I mentioned they had a somewhat questionable music choice. I'm not against music like this, but for a game with this aesthetic, it was kind of an odd choice. So let's just kind of put a different track on it and watch it that way. Anyway, that aside, amidst all of that, you would have seen plenty of flowing combat. There were 4 primary weapon types we've seen shown so far. There's of course the sword and shield, which is my jam. Again, if you guys know me from Monster Hunter, I love sword and shields. It's one of those kind of weapon types that you look at it amidst everything else and you might think it's kind of understated or quite simple, but it just looks really cool. Being able to charge forward and do like a shield bash into enemies, being able to slam the shield on the ground, the way that it kind of unfolds in that sort of almost God of War style. If you played the new God of War, you'll of course know this, have the shield that sort of unfolds. Rather interestingly, in one of the scenes, it actually, like initially when you were watching through the gameplay, you'll be forgiven for thinking, oh, the sword and shield and the kind of dual blades may be separate weapons, but it looks like they may actually be somewhat linked, because in this particular gameplay clip, you can actually see that he begins by holding twin blades, and then jumps up, the shield unfolds while still holding the blade, and he then goes into the kind of dual blade attack. So whether every weapon or kind of some of the faster weapons have the ability to block as well, or whether it's kind of like a cross weapon ability, that much we don't know right now. There's a lot of stuff still to find out. There's also a big ass hammer, which is really cool. I love those kind of big, heavy, weighty weapons, and that's really important. In a game like this, when it comes to melee combat, one of the most important things, which is why I think Monster Hunter World did such a good job, and why things like the Soulsborne games are quite good is because in melee combat you really want to feel the weight of your hits. Anytime you're going to get a game and you just run through and you feel like you're slashing through like paper, kind of like in sort of Dynasty Warrior style games, sure, it can feel satisfying for a short time, but long term you kind of want to feel like your weapon has that weight, right? And you definitely sort of get that by watching this trailer. Obviously, again, haven't played it, don't know what it's going to feel like, but factoring that PlayStation 5 has that kind of new DualSense controller with sort of like haptic feedback and whatnot, I'm guessing it's going to feel pretty good. This is also on PC, by the way, in case you guys are wondering. This is coming to PlayStation 5 as an exclusive console game, but it will also be on PC. So, you know, it won't be on Xbox Series X or anything, but PS5 or PC is where this will be dropping. Now, of course, on top of that, again, mentioned a couple other weapon types as well. There appears to be some sort of spear or lance. There's also a heavy hammer. And obviously, as we're going through the trailer, you see the characters wearing different armor sets. These, I believe, are called Valor plates. That's what they're kind of calling the armor sets. Again, not too much detail on it, but they did have a dedicated trailer kind of just describing one of the Valor plates. And that probably ties in with the element they had in the trailer where they spoke about godlike abilities, where suddenly you see them go yellow with this sort of ethereal glow and suddenly these spiritual blades start coming out. So it seems like maybe you might have some crazy super ability as well. That would be fantastic. I'm really hoping as well when it kind of comes to combat that there's, you know, a little bit of depth to it. I don't necessarily want it to be one of those things where it's just hit one button just to melee non-stop. I kind of want there to be combos you can string together, or maybe more so like, say, Soulsborne games again, heavy hit, light hit, that kind of thing. More sort of weight and thought to your combat. Of course, there's plenty of dodge rolling in this. There's a parry system in it. So it's definitely going to be a more considered combat style game as opposed to just running in and wailing and smashing buttons to try and cut through enemies. You are going to need to think slightly more. You're going to have to be more considerate. You are definitely going to need to learn your enemy's patterns so you can then parry, dodge, block accordingly. So all of that sounds very exciting. And as mentioned, when they start releasing videos and kind of additional information over the coming weeks, we'll start taking a deep dive into the different systems, exploring weapons, exploring gear, all that exciting stuff. But very quickly, I want to turn our attention to the blog post that went up on the PlayStation blog shortly after the trailer dropped. This came from the CEO of Counter Games, Keith Lee, and he kind of gave us a quick description of what we saw. So let's read through that quickly because it kind of gives you a little bit more context to what's in the trailer. He said, today was an exciting day for the whole team at Counterplay Games. They've been hard at work on their upcoming PlayStation 5 title Godfall, and they're ecstatic to have everyone see the first official PS5 gameplay. The trailer gives players a glimpse into the world of Hyperion, weapon classes, a selection of Valor plates, as well as fast-paced melee combat that you can expect to enjoy in Godfall. In Godfall, Hyperion is in the precipice of ruin, you are the last of the Valorian knights, godlike warriors able to equip Valor plates, legendary armor sets that transform wielders into unstoppable masters of melee combat. Players will tear through foes as they climb through some of the elemental realms and challenge the mad god Macross who awaits you at the top. Which sounds kind of awesome, almost kind of makes me think of Tower of God that I'm watching at the moment, for those of you guys that are anime fans. Anyway, moving on from there, they also said that players will be able to master 5 weapon classes, unlock various Valor plates through gameplay, level up and learn new skills, and choose to fight solo or alongside friends with 3-player PvE online co-op play. So that answers my question. I know I said at the beginning, wasn't quite sure how many weapon types there might have been. Must have missed that one. So it seems 5 different weapon types. Admittedly, it's always nice if there are more, but given that this is a looter slasher, there may only be 5 weapon types, but hopefully within that, there will be lots of different loot or lots of different kind of weapon variations to experiment with. It does pose a rather interesting question as well. They say that you will unlock various Valor plates through gameplay as opposed to loot various Valor plates. So I don't know whether that means that, say, the loot is specifically tied to your weapons, whether it's tied to, say, trinkets, and whether, like, armor is unlocked in another way. Again, these are all questions that we're going to have to wait later on to try and get answers to, but they are questions that are kind of spinning around in my mind right now. He also said we have a lot more to show and talk about with Godfall, so keep your eyes open in the upcoming days to learn more about Valor plates, weapon classes, and more. We're still hard at work and can't wait for players to experience Godfall when it makes its console debut and launches on PC this holiday season. So it's coming this year, which again, super exciting. Whether it's a launch day title or a launch window, again, remains to be seen. I sincerely hope it is a launch title because being able to buy a PlayStation 5 and jump straight into this, or play it on PC, but I kind of want to play it on PlayStation 5 just because it's a new console and it's just a chance to kind of play a game on a new console. It's going to be exciting. But anyway, that's enough for the time being. It's enough rambling. Hope you guys enjoyed that. That's a quick summary of what we've seen so far. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I'm hoping that, if you guys are on this channel, you probably like your loot-based games, so this definitely should interest you. But either way, let me know what you think. Let me know what questions you have. And again, be sure to keep it locked because over the coming days, as we get more information, I will be keeping you guys up to date. So definitely stick around. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed that video. Don't forget, if you haven't already done so, you can join the Arekkz Gaming Discord. We've got an awesome community over there with so many different channels for you to chat loads of different topics and different games. I'm in there, the team's in there. If you guys want to chat with us, find people to play with, it's just in general a great place to be. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to turn on those notifications so you don't miss any of our future uploads.